The Spanish national team of 2010 won the World Cup and the European Championship of 2008 and 2012, playing the style of football known as the Tiki-Taka. The style was also popularized and brought to its highest version by Pep Guardiola and his Barcelona side of 2008 to 2012, which brought him and Barcelona 3 La Liga titles and 2 Champions Leagues. Tiki-Taka in its simplest form is a style based on retaining and circulating possession of the ball, described by Sid Lowe in The Guardian as the nonsensical phrase that comes to mean short passing, patience and possession above all else. Tiki-Taka has been seen as both a positive and a negative. At its best, it generates turning movement, fluidity and incisive attacking football of great skill, and at its worst, it can be sterile and tedious. Indeed, the origins of the phrase may have those negative connotations. Javier Clemente, an extremely pragmatic Spanish coach of athletic club, apparently coined the term as a criticism, but it was Andres Montes, the Spanish commentator, who brought the basic term to a wider audience during the Spain vs Tunisia game in 2006, saying, "Estamos dosando, tiki-taka, tiki-taka, we are playing with a light, quick step." Origins of the Spanish and Barcelona obsession with possession can be traced to the influence of Johan Cruyff, whose philosophy of total football prized possession of the ball and use of space above all else. Cruyff and fellow Dutch managers Louis van Gaal and Frank Rijkaard brought this appreciation of possession and space with them when they coached the Catalan club, marrying it to the stylistic focus inherent but latent in the club's technical DNA. Their influence on Pep Guardiola and a generation of players from the club's famous La Masia development complex meant that Barcelona was primed to play the style. A coterie of superbly talented but diminutive creative players also forced Barcelona's hand to a degree they couldn't compete purely with the physicality but intelligent technical players like Xavi, Andres Iniesta, Pedro and Lionel Messi flourished under Tiki-Taka. Guardiola, a deep-lying playmaker turned tactician, said that, "In the world of football, there is only one secret: I've got the ball or I haven't." This mantra of keeping and taking care of possession was articulated by two of his best players, Xavi and Iniesta. Xavi would say, "I get the ball, I pass the ball. I get the ball, I pass the ball." And Iniesta would say, "Receive the ball, pass, offer. Receive, pass, offer." Barcelona and Spain tended to set up in a 3-3 formation, a formation that seemed best suited for the style and rotation of the ball by creating overloads. Because Tiki-Taka was more than possession for its own sake, it needed to generate chances, so Tiki-Taka incorporated 3 other factors that were crucial to its success, such as pressing, the false nine, and position of play. Pressing was an obvious addition. Any team which prizes possession will work extremely hard to regain the ball after it's lost. Again, there was a direct continuity here from the ideas of Cruyff, who wanted to make the pitch as small as possible in defense, while Marcelo Bielsa's influence on Guardiola was also apparent. By choking the opposition, especially when they have just won the ball back as they are at their most vulnerable immediately having regained possession, pressing is the best way to regain possession and beginning another attacking sequence. The false nine was not a new idea, and we've covered it in another video, but having a striker who dropped off into the space between the defensive and midfield lines caused problems for the markers. Follow the player and you create a gap in the center of defense or midfield. Leave the player and there is an unmarked attacker able to receive and pass or receive and run or shoot. This was a natural addition to emphasis on movement inherent in Tiki-Taka. As well as positional play. Positional play is simply an idea that the pitch is divided into zones and that no more than 2 players should occupy the same line vertically and no more than 3 the same line horizontally. Guardiola did this by painting lines on a training pitch to show players what the zones were. The purpose is to encourage players to find zones where they are free to receive and pass, and the players should achieve a degree of almost automation in terms of finding spaces and then moving as the ball moves around the pitch. This injects the fluidity and creation of space that stops Tiki-Taka simply being an exercise in possession football. as players are constantly on the move, rotating, changing, and finding spaces, but with a shared understanding of what the purpose is and how each player relates to the others. This is the key aspect of Iniesta's quotation, receive pass offer. Offering, putting yourself in a position to receive the ball by moving, is the thing that stops Tiki-Taka simply being a passing exercise. As Jonathan Wilson puts it, the focus was on the creation and exploitation of space generated by movement of the ball and by technique good enough that defenders could be lured towards the forward before a pass would be released. Possession was the means, not the end. While Tiki-Taka is most associated with Barcelona and Spain, not least because they shared so many players, its reach went further. Guardiola has brought aspects of the style to Bayern and Manchester City, while the Premier League saw Brendan Rodgers' Swansea and Liverpool sides as well as Owen Coyle and Ian Holley at Bolton and Blackpool. And the influence of Tiki-Taka can now be seen in goalkeepers and defenders having to be more comfortable in possession and needing to pass the ball well. At its best, it was almost unplayable. Before other tactics evolved, lightning quick interchanges between technically gifted players employing almost rehearsed attacking moves but with the added brilliance of game changers like Messi and Iniesta. It brought about major tactical changes in top-level football as coaches scrambled to figure out ways to beat it, and also sparked a wider interest in possession and pass completion numbers. Up to Joao's popularity on Twitter is in large part due to a series of tweets about Barcelona's passing and possession stats dwarfing the opposition's, which is one of the reasons that stats are now more widely understood by fans and pundits. Tiki-Taka had its roots in total football, but as an evolution of that style, it's changed the game just as much and has had a lasting effect on the way football is played and understood. If you have enjoyed the content in the video, please subscribe to my channel for more interesting football stories, reviews, analysis, and more.